Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Cam. Cam is from England in the UK. So let's see what Cam has to say. Enjoy the interview.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, hello Cam, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks so much for taking the time this afternoon for the interview.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
It's going all right. Just a bit of a chilled one, to be fair. Woke up pretty late, so just not done much.
During the weekends, do you have like a routine that you do every weekend or you just go with the flow?
Kind of just go with the flow. I mean, there's obviously the Euros is on at the moment, so watching a lot of football. But yeah, not really anything. No plans normally.
Besides England, which team are you supporting?
Besides England, I love Portugal. I grew up going to Portugal on holiday all the time, so Portugal's like special country for me. So I love Portugal as well.
You know what? I'm originally from Brazil, and I moved to Portugal, to Porto, for a few
Yeah,
years before leaving. I moved to England, to London,
nice,
and
nice.
so yes, I like Portugal. I'm glad. I'm happy with England as well. So I
Mm.
have some, favorites, but yeah, I think those events, get people together. This
Yeah, for
competition
sure.
amazing. You just get into the mood. It's just sometimes can be difficult for you to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When
of course.
like England and Denmark, what a game. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's a great vibe. And
absolutely.
tell me where you're from.
So I'm from Essex. I'm pretty sure we're just north of London.
Okay, born and raised.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So tell me what's the best part of living over there?
Um, well, I mean, my town's not the best place in the world, I'll be honest. But I mean, it's where I grew up, so it's just like I know everything around here. I know where I am. It's just, do you know what I mean? Just comfortable.
And how far are you from London?
About half an hour on the train, not far
Oh,
at all.
it's quite close. And all your family live there as well?
Yeah, yeah. My family. Well, I live with my dad and my brother. My mum lives in Newcastle, which is quite a way away. But yeah, most of my family are like either in the same town as me or closer to London, so it's all pretty easy to get to.
Amazing. Of course, Cam, I know we are a singer. Yeah, we are an artist. So
Yes.
walk me through a little bit more about your career, how things started.
Well, so at the moment, I'm more of an aspiring musician than anything. So I started playing guitar when I was about 17, 18.
Wow.
Um, got like a hand-me-down guitar from my uncle, and just decided one day I wanted to learn. So I kind of self-taught using one of those apps that you get on the computer.
Okay.
Um, and then I've always loved singing. Like even as a kid, when I was like growing up in school, I'd always do like the talent shows and stuff.
Wow.
Um, and so when I learned to play guitar, obviously I could then play my own like the music for myself and then sing. Um, then got some singing lessons, learned how to properly sing and not damage my vocal cords every time.
Amazing.
And then yeah, like the more I've done it, the more confident I've got. And then just started. I joined a band. That's great fun. I love that. The band's called Echo Hoax. We're not massive yet, like we've not put anything out really, but we've done a few gigs and that's really cool.
Wow.
And then yeah, just doing like TikTok covers. And then an agency asked me to be part of them, so now I can go live on TikTok.
Wow.
And that's pretty much what I'm doing. Like most nights, 5, 6 times a week, I go live on TikTok playing guitar and singing. So
That's great. That's great. And this band that you're part of it, how did it started? They were already on and you be invited or you created?
they are. I went to school with them, but they were a few years above me, and they were always like doing stuff together as a three musically.
Mhm.
And then they made a new band, and they had a few different singers come in that didn't really fit with them. So like either unreliable or just didn't really suit the style of music they wanted to play, or even just personality wise, like they were clashes. And then one day I posted a cover and one of the guys who I knew, like kind of from school, messaged me on Facebook saying your cover was like really good. I really liked it. Do you want to be in a band? And I was like, yes, absolutely. So kind of just happened like that.
Wow, amazing. Okay, Cam, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career and also about your life so far, okay?
Okay.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Oh, this is a tough one. Something interesting. uh, I mean, I don't know how interesting it is, but like, I feel like I reflect my personality a lot in like through colors and through expressions like music and things like that. So you can kind of tell what mood I'm in based on what I'm wearing, or how, like, if I'm singing a lot on the day, whether there's music playing or not, you can tell kind of I'm in a good mood. So I'm quite readable based on my like my behavior on the day, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And we're very green today. What's the meaning behind? What's
Yeah.
what's your goal of today wearing green?
So this is a childish hoodie. It's my favorite YouTubers. One of my favorite YouTube channels. It's their clothing brand, and obviously it's really bright and vibrant. I always try and wear vibrant stuff because I like to. I don't know. I feel like it just reflects my personality. Very like just bright and bold. I like to be different. Do you know what I mean?
Amazing. I think they're going to be very happy that you're promoting their channel right now.
Yeah, yeah. Childish.
Cam, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of
Yeah,
view?
let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax before the first question, all right?
Cool.
Right, let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Mhm.
Right, easy question. Describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
Oh, positive word. I think positive word would probably be like empathic or compassionate.
Yeah,
Because I find it hard to trust, but I feel like I'll always kind of give someone the benefit of the doubt. And I'd like to listen and learn and understand. And if I don't understand, I'll always make the effort to understand. Um, and then negative would undoubtedly be anxious. I'm always anxious. Like everything makes me anxious. Like being in big spaces or like with lots of people, all sorts of things. I get anxious quite easily. So that would probably be that one.
and why is that? Why do you think it happened to you?
Honestly, I don't really know. I think generally growing up, like I had a few like difficult times as a kid and as I was growing up.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's probably where like the finding it hard to trust people come in as well. And so I think if I'm not in an environment with people that I know and that I'm comfortable with, I find it kind of hard to relax.
I see.
Um, which I think then obviously manifests itself by way of anxiety. So
And your best friends, your close friends, they live in the same town as you or different places?
yeah, yeah. So I don't have a big friendship circle. I've kind of made the conscious effort to keep small circle but strong relationships. Um, because I think it's important to to have people around you that will tell you when you're messing up, making mistakes, and call you out if you're being being an idiot. So yeah, they're all quite local. Like I work with my friends, we play football together, and yeah, so they're all local.
Amazing. Okay, next question. Let's do it. Okay, come. Next question for you is, who is your biggest idol and what have you learned with this person?
Oh, this is a tough one. I've got a couple for different reasons.
Okay.
Um, I think well, music. So musically, it's James Arthur. I think his music in general, just on a very surface level, I think he's an incredible singer, like really unique, sound, and like he's one of those singers where if he comes on the radio, you know who it is straight away. Um, but I think his whole story of like kind of the self-doubt, where the reason he ended up going on X Factor, I'm not sure if you'll know this, but was because he ran out of money completely, and he was asking his mum if he could borrow money for electricity because he was sat in the dark. And she said, "I'll give you the money, but you have to go and audition for X Factor." And then obviously he did, and then he ended up winning it, and his life totally changed.
Wow.
But yeah, so he's had like a lot of struggles, and then he kind of explains it in through his music, and I try and do that as well, like try and get out my emotions through music, even if it's not songs that I'm writing. Like when I'm covering songs, a lot of the times I'll pick songs that I'm feeling at the time or that I can relate to, because I feel like then it conveys the emotion.
Wow. Oh my God, you tell about the story. I got goosebumps everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's see that this interview is gonna get to James Arthur somehow. It's gonna get to him, and
Oh, I'd love it.
and you have the opportunity right now to send him a message or to say something to him. What would you say? He's watching.
Okay. Basically just thank you. There's been a lot of times where I felt like completely on my own, and he was always the person to like whose music I'd listen to, because it's so real and raw. And I just really appreciate it, because it takes a lot to be vulnerable. I mean, I'm an aspiring songwriter, and I understand what it takes to be vulnerable, to write these things down and then to share it. And there are a few songs like Recovery, like Trainwreck, that were just, they've lived in my playlist for years and years, and they'll always be like at the top of my listen to at the end of the year, because anytime I'm struggling, yeah, they're just like the anthem. So just, yeah, and keep doing what you're doing, because every show, every new album, I'll be there.
Wow, amazing, very good. Next question, come. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Right, before the next question, as you mentioned now about your songwriter as well, two questions in one. So the first part of the question is, for you to write, do you write every day? Do you have like a kind of method for you to, the consistency to write every day? Or you feel like, you know, just like when you feel inspired, yeah? And the second part of the question is, what's the inspiration for you to write your songs? There is something based in your personal life, or what's happened around the world, or about people? Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so in terms of when I write is kind of like when the inspiration hits. It's not so much about inspiration necessarily. It can be if I'm having a bad day, for example, I'll get my guitar out and I'll start playing, and then maybe sometimes I'll kind of like freestyle and just sing over a basic chord progression and see if anything sticks. And then if I like something, then I'll record it in my voice notes. I've got hundreds of voice notes of songs that probably won't ever go anywhere, just because it's like 3 or 4 lines that I just needed to get off my chest, and it helped at the time. And yeah, I think so I tend to write about experiences, but I kind of try and write vague. So I'll write about stuff that I can kind of relate to or that I feel, but I won't be detailed or specific. I'll try and write it in such a way that you can kind of interpret it so that it's more relatable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are some songs like for the band, I wrote one of the songs I wrote. So that with the band, it's a lot easier to write because they all write the music and then I just write the lyrics. And my favorite song that I wrote for the band is about going on holiday and falling in love and then having to obviously fly home and you never see that person again. That's never happened to me, but it's just a story that I kind of thought of while I was on holiday and thought that's really good. Like that's really good inspiration for a song. So sometimes it can just be like an idea or just telling a story that's just completely fictional. And sometimes, yeah, it can be based off like true emotions and experiences.
What's the meaning of love for you?
I think the meaning of love is finding your home in a person. I think like a home doesn't necessarily mean where you live. It's more about having that one person that when you get good news, bad news, they're the first person you want to call. You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to like you know that there's just that mutual trust and unconditional love where on your bad days, they're there for you, and on their bad days, they're happy to be vulnerable and show you them at their weakest. So I think that's what love is. I'm not 100% sure, though. I'm still trying to work it out.
No right or wrong. I think people, they see love in different ways, and what, when to, I think the feeling of love, when you have these butterflies, doesn't matter.
Mm,
Could be a romantic love, could be parenting, or could be
yeah.
your pet. This nice feeling. I think it's all when it's pure, when you feel it.
Yes.
That's how I believe as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is: who are you most thankful for, and why?
Do I have to pick one?
Yes, right now.
Oh, right now. It's really tough. I mean, I'm gonna I'm gonna go with my brother.
Okay.
I've got a younger brother. He's 16, and we've never really had a fight. We've never fallen out.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just I'm watching him. He's just finished all his GCSEs, and
Oh,
I'm just like super proud of him. And um, yeah, like he's like a little best friend as well. So
wow.
I love like being able to share like experiences and life and stories and stuff with him. So yeah, I'll go for him.
What's the biggest difference between both of you, and the biggest similarity?
The biggest difference is probably just the age. I
Hmm.
think that's the only real thing that's different about us. We're so similar as people. I mean, he's a lot more selfless than I am. I'm a lot more selfish than him. He's he's a lot more prepared to put somebody else first if it's gonna like even if it's gonna detriment him. Whereas
Right.
I'm kind of more in the camp of I'll make sure I've protected myself so that I'm fit to provide for people that I care for and love. Um, but yeah, I mean, similarity wise, like with the same sense of humor, we share the same interests, all that kind of thing.
Wow. And he's in the same field as you, like an artist, or he's a totally different career?
Yeah, so he plays piano and sings. I kind of taught him a little bit of guitar, which he's picked up pretty well. Um, but yeah, we've always been in a musical family. He also plays the drums for the school band.
Oh, wow.
Um, so we've always been like a really musical family. My mum used to play the flute. My dad was a drummer.
Oh my
So
God. Wow.
yeah, always growing up, we've had that kind of the musical blood, if you will. So it's kind of natural that we would end up progressing.
Wow. So I believe for you, when you start your career, when you kind of decide to go in this path, I'm sure your parents, they were very supportive.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I've had a lot of career choices that I've tried to pursue in the past.
Hmm.
And I think my parents could always tell that I've never been truly in love with the idea. Um, with this one, they can see the passion and like the just the I'm in love with music. I mean, if I could do an office job that pays me £10 million a year, or I could go and do shows that pays me £200 a week, and I have to sleep on the sofa at my parents' house till I'm 35, they know I'm what I'm going to pick. It's just about the love and the passion and about like life satisfaction and stuff. So yeah, they're really supportive. They're like my biggest fans.
Wow. And I think as well, I think it's so important. And I think, I'm sure for you, it's a big plus to have the support of your parents, because a few people, sometimes they want to follow their dreams or their desires, and they can't, because, not they can't, they still can. However, the loved ones, they, for one reason or another, they don't support them, or maybe because they want to be protective. And I think it can be difficult as well. But having your parents, like
Mm,
family, supporting, you feel safe, you feel like you can be your true
absolutely, yeah.
self and go for it, because they are there for you. Whatever happened, they're going to be there to cheer you up, or to pull you up. I think it's a big plus for sure.
Absolutely.
Very lucky. Next question, ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it. Hey, next question for you is: what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
That's a tough question. Someone's ever said to me. I mean, I'm gonna kind of go down a different route to what what I think would be a typical answer. I think in a strange way, I think the most beautiful things that people have said to me is more about when they're explaining things that they're scared to say or that they wouldn't tell people. So like my best friend when we were growing up and stuff, and he was telling me stories about what happened when he grew up and things that he had to go through. I was just in awe of him because it's like, wow, like you've lived through this and you're still so strong and you just carry on every day and you're choosing to share this with me. I feel like those are the most beautiful things to hear from people because they're truly letting you into like to their real selves.
What's the biggest joy of being Cam? What do you like the most about being you?
Um, I think, to be honest, I've made it quite easy for myself to just be who I am. I've never, I kind of grew up with not many friends, but not because I was unpopular and I whatever. It was because I didn't want to just fit in. I didn't
Mhm.
care for having fake friends. I would rather have a small circle of close friends. Um, I think the biggest joy for me is to just be able to wake up every day and to just unapologetically be who I am because it makes everything so much easier. I don't have to think about it or put on this persona when I go outside or when I go on TikTok live or anything. I can really just be who I am, and I've kind of set up that for myself, I guess.
And you've always been this way?
Yeah, I mean, since a kid, I used to get bullied in primary school for my ears because my ears stick out a lot. They're not so bad now, but when I was a kid, they were like they were really bad. And I got offered through the NHS like a free surgery to pin them back, which is basically where they connect the skin behind your ear to basically stop them from sticking out so much. And I said, no, I don't want it. I don't care if people are going to call me names, then I don't need those people in my life.
Wow.
Um, and so I learned that quite quick. And obviously, my parents have always been really supportive. So I've always had people to talk to if I've been struggling. So, and they've always accepted me when I've not been okay. So if people don't accept me, then that's fine. They're not for me. I'm not for them. That's totally fine. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean they're right. Um,
Absolutely.
it's just yeah, it's just an easier way to be. I think it's hard to do, but if you can just accept who you are and don't feel like you have to change um, to be around people, then yeah, life's a lot easier.
Amazing. Next one. Let's do it. Yeah. Right. So before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of singing? Yeah, when you are there, as you said before, that you could, be on stage and can be just, doing your passion. Tell me the joy. Tell me the feeling when you are doing it. And the second part of the question is, what's the biggest challenge that you find through your career so far?
I mean, the biggest joy is to just like it's a feeling like nothing else on earth. Like when I'm stood on stage and I'm looking into like an audience or a crowd, and to see people like smiling and looking up at me and like locked in, um, it's just amazing to be able to give people that feeling that I get from music. Where you listen to music and it makes you happy and you like listening to it and stuff, and to be able to provide that for someone else is just magic. And so with the band we do covers as well, and in our recent gig we did Take Me to Church, and there were like everyone at the front was singing along with it, and it was
Wow.
just unbelievable. Like I was looking in the crowd like telling them, come on, give me more, because it's just the best feeling ever. Like they're truly just in it with me. What was the second part? Sorry.
What's the biggest challenge of the career so far?
Oh, okay. So the biggest challenge so far is, to be honest, trying to find the balance between. So I still have a job. I still work
Hmm.
because it's not financially viable for me to do
Yeah.
what I'm doing at the moment. I think that it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because if I quit my job and did music full time, I could probably speed the process up to get to where I want to be. But at the same time, trying to exercise patience to think like, be responsible, pay the bills, and then it will pay off in time when it's meant to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think being an artist, it's part of it. It somehow makes you stronger as well, makes you appreciate more your job and your career as well, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next question is, what scares you the most about your future?
Um, to be honest, not a lot really. I mean, there's not a lot because I try and think if I can't change it, then I try not to worry about stuff because all that's going to do is just send me into a spiral of worry and anxiety again, and I get enough of that as it is. So I think generally, if I obviously I'm dreading the day when my parents die. That's going to be horrible to try and kind of start again almost without my mum and dad.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, but I think anything that's in my future that I'm not quite sure of, I feel like if I want something bad enough, I'll get it. Like I've got the work rate and I've got the passion to absolutely do everything in my power. And if I turn 35 and I'm a failed musician and it hasn't worked for me, I'll be able to sit there and say, I couldn't really have done any more. Because the worst thing that you can ever do is to look back and go, oh, I wish I'd just done this, or what if I'd done that? I won't be that.
And I think in a way, whatever you do, the process is already happening. People, they tend to
Mm,
think about the end goal, but actually
exactly.
the journey is already something happening. It's already, you're enjoying already. It's part of as whatever happens, whatever, it's a part of the journey. You know what I mean? So it's
Exactly.
everything counts. Everything, it's welcoming.
I think that's the point anyway. Like the journey is the bit that's enjoyable. When you
Totally.
look back and say like if I end up making it huge as a singer and I end up making like hundreds of millions of pounds and stuff, I'm not going to sit back and think, oh, I've done it all now. I don't need to do anymore. It will never be enough. It's that this I can't remember what it is. But it's like the when you get to the top of a mountain and you look back down and you think, well, this is cool, but the journey up was the fun part.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's the part I'm enjoying at the moment. I'm not too worried about the future. I'm just enjoying now.
amazing. Three questions left. Let's do it.
Cool.
Before the next question, tell me your top three favorite. You already mentioned about James Arthur, but for you, music-wise, musicians or inspiration, top three favorite, inspiration for you in music, people.
Okay. Obviously James Arthur.
Okay.
Um, there's a band called Boyce Avenue as well.
Okay.
Um, they're kind of like a cover band. They've got some originals as well, and I just love their whole just the way they produce music and stuff. They make songs unique and they change songs that everybody knows into being like smooth acoustic versions, and it's a really creative way of doing covers. It's not just a carbon copy. Um, and then musically, it's tough. I mean, it's a bit cliche, but I'd probably say Ed Sheeran. Um, I think when you watch his live performances and he's on stage for 2.5 hours with one guitar, seven loop pedals on the floor, and two microphones, like the musical talent that man has is just something special.
Right, so let's see. So you're gonna wake up one morning and you're gonna have three missed calls. One from Ed Sheeran, one from James Arthur, and the other one from the band that you just mentioned right now. Which one you called straight away? Which one you're gonna send a message saying, okay, I'll call you later? And the other one you go like, okay, I can talk to this person a bit later on. Tough one, tell me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm calling James back straight away.
Yeah,
I'd call James back straight away. I feel like I could just learn so much from him, and I feel like I could share some things with him as well, like part of my story, because he's done this before, like going to he did a thing about men's mental health, going to like a men's football team and was talking to all the guys there about their stories and stuff, and he seemed really interested and engrossed in it. So I'd like to have just that conversation. Um, I think I'd text back Boyce Avenue, the band, and say I'll call you shortly. Um, because one of my dreams is to record a cover with them. I think I kind of match their style quite well. A lot of my music's just me and a guitar acoustic. Um, and theirs is kind of similar but just very polished and well produced and stuff. So I think it'd be that. And as painful as it would be to ignore Ed Sheeran, I'd have to leave it, I'm afraid.
I was about to say, oh my God, imagine the whole crowd of Ed Sheeran. They go like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, you're just being genuine and honest. I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, this question, what do you like the most about yourself? You already talked about that. I can get another one. Right. Next question is, do you have any pet peeves?
People who can't listen. If you're trying to have a conversation or a debate or an argument with somebody and they're constantly talking over you and cutting you off and not letting you speak, I'm done with the conversation very quickly. I'm not interested anymore because I'm more than happy to, if you've got a really long point and you're passionate, and I'll sit there and I'll give you eye contact and I'll listen to you, and before I reply, I'll give it a minute and I'll think about what you've said. If before I've finished delivering my point, you're already answering me, you're not listening to me, and I'm not interested in the conversation. So it's probably just, yeah, people not listening properly.
Amazing. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what's your favorite weekend activity?
Ooh, I mean, that depends on who I'm with. So if I'm with my girlfriend, it'll be just kind of chilling, not really doing a lot, just kind of being in her company. If I'm with my dad, it'll be watching football. If I'm with my best mate, just kind of sitting in the garden, just talking. It depends. I don't know. I'm not really one for making plans. If I feel like doing something, I'm kind of spontaneous about it. But yeah, so I think just depends on who I'm with at the time, really.
Are you more of an outdoors person, or you prefer to be more indoors?
It depends on a lot of things. I think generally speaking, I prefer to be indoors. If the weather's nice, I like being outside. Sometimes I'll go and sit outside and listen to music, or even go over to the lake nearby me and bring my guitar and just sit by the water and play. And that's like really peaceful and wonderful. But yeah, I think generally inside.
And do you like to spend some time on your own, Cam? Do you like to, sometimes to enjoy your own company, or it doesn't happen very often?
It depends. It's one of the quotes that I always live by is that my dad said, being on your own doesn't mean you're lonely, but being on your own when you don't have a choice is when it feels lonely.
Oh,
And
very
so a lot, yeah,
very
yeah,
far,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on how I'm feeling on the day. So like if I've had a bad day at work and I come home, a lot of the time I just don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be around anybody. I need to just recharge my social battery. Even my family, I need to just be away from everybody for a little while. Um, but then yeah, I do struggle with feeling lonely quite a lot if I'm on
Mhm.
my own for too long. So I'll end up like just leaving my bedroom, going and talking to my dad, talking to my brother, even going and saying hello to my dogs, just just to not be on my own. Um,
Totally.
but
Ready for the last question?
yeah, of course.
Let's do it. Last one. Right before the last question, through your career, tell me a moment or a situation that you're never gonna forget, always gonna have special place in your heart, for any reason.
Um, what in regards to what, like music and stuff?
Yeah, your career. Tell me something that when you think
Okay.
about, it's always gonna be there.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I think so it was quite recent actually. It's the first big gig we've done. It was to probably 500 people or so.
Wow.
And all the gigs we've done up until then were they were like small open mics, so 30 people maximum. Um, and I just remember looking to the right and seeing my dad and my brother and my best mate
Wow.
and seeing their smiles, and then seeing my best mate singing lyrics that I wrote to our original songs back to me was like, wow. and then turning around to the boys in the band as well, and we're all kind of smiling and loving it together. That feeling was like, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and I will never ever, I'll never forget that.
Wow, beautiful. Last question is, who do you count the most for help?
I don't know.
I love it. Don't know.
Probably my best mate. I would say my best mate. I mean, there's not anything I couldn't talk to him about, if that makes sense. And sometimes I try and deal with things on my own. Sometimes, I mean, I think everyone gets it sometimes where when you're struggling, you want to talk to someone, but you think, oh, I don't want to bring their mood down. I don't want to be too much for somebody. But yeah, throughout the years, he's kind of proven to me that there's nothing that's too much for him. He's always going to be there for me. So probably him.
And how did your path crossed?
So I met him. We met in school. We've been best mates for 10 years now.
Okay.
But yeah, we met in school. Funny enough, we actually hated each other to begin with. Our first ever interaction, I slapped him in the face.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, and then 3 years later, we ended up being in the same class together, and then found out that we both found the same YouTuber really funny.
Wow.
And then we kind of built our humor off that and got closer and closer, and yeah.
Do you guys still talk about this slap that you slapped his face at the time or not?
Yeah. Yeah. He remembers.
I think it was the most meaningful slap you ever gave in your life.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, so then yet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family.
Love.
Money.
Freedom.
Fear.
Lonely.
Life.
All over the place. It's not one word, but all over the place.
One word for love.
Trust.
Religion.
Pass.
Okay. Sex.
Connection.
Okay. Politics.
Pass.
Okay. Friendship.
Brotherhood.
Desire.
Determination.
Regret.
Never.
Success.
Fulfilled.
One word for wish.
For what, sorry?
Wish.
Dream.
Happiness.
Chase.
One word for England.
Home.
One word for music.
Passion.
If you could define one word, what's the name of the band you play again? What's the name of the band?
Echo Hoax.
One word for Echo Hoax.
Oh, one word is hard. Adventure.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your girlfriend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Cam in one positive word and one negative word only. What should say?
Ooh. I'd like to think she'd say that I'm loving or caring, one of those two. Negative would probably be distance, because she lives miles away from me, and we've both agreed that that's the one thing about like the relationship that we change is how far away she is and how far away I am.
If I would ask your brother, to define you, what's the most beautiful thing about Cam? What he would say?
think I think for him it would be different for everybody else, because there have been times where I've been I've defended my brother in ways that I haven't defended anybody before. So I've never had a physical fight. I've never been in any fights or anything like that, but I've been prepared to for my brother. So I think he'd probably say that if he was going to sum me up, I think he'd probably say something along the lines of like a big brother, basically. As boring as that sounds, like just a good big brother.
And now I'm gonna meet your best friend, and I'm gonna ask him, what's something that Cam should improve, in your opinion? What he would say?
Oh, I think being too self-critical. Because a
Point.
lot of the time I'll send him, so before I release a cover, I'll send it to him and I'll say, "What do you think of this?" And he'll go, "Yeah, that's really good." And I'll go, "I don't want to post it. I don't think it's any good." And he'll be like, "Just post it. Trust me, just post it." Um, I think it can get frustrating for him sometimes because I can see, I think naturally, like you look in the mirror, you pick out all the imperfections where I feel like I can do better than anything I record. I listen back and I'm like, no, I can do better than that. But then he listens to it and thinks, well, spot on. What more do you want? So probably being too self-critical.
The good news is you are not only the only one who thinks that. I think artists, they have this vein to think this way.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Cam, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, people who, they've been already in your concerts, they're gonna go in the future, they're gonna, listen to your TikTok videos, they're gonna connect with you. What's something about that would you like them to take with them when they, when they listen to your music, when they come to your shows? What's something that you'd like them to take with them, if you know what I mean?
I think so. This is a really good question, and this is really important to me. I want anybody who sees me perform or listens to my TikToks or comes into my TikTok lives, I want them to know that I always feel like I get more from it than them. I don't want anybody to think that I feel like I'm doing them a favor. Like it is what I love doing, and I am so grateful. I know it's really overused, and everyone says this, but genuinely, I'm going to say it now while I have like a very, very small following, because one day, hopefully, it will be a lot bigger. Um, there will never be a time where I'll look at that and take it for granted. Every single time I do a show and there's people there watching, or do a TikTok live and there's people listening, um, people liking my videos on TikTok, watching my covers on YouTube, I will always maintain that I feel like I get more out of it than they do, because it's just what I love to do, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Amazing. You can ask me a question now.
Okay, my question for you is what in the world would make you the happiest, and do you think you do you think you're do you think you're happy now?
Good question. Very good question, actually. I love it. You know what, Cam? I think, the world we live right now with, everything's very fast, social media, and, things are just happen overnight. I think what makes what makes me the happiest, it's the fact that I can be myself. If I can be myself 100%, and people, they will appreciate that, and they will connect with me for the fact that I am myself. Trust me, I can be, I will be the happiest. If I'm happy now, I would say yes. And I can tell you, I'm happy right now because when I'm doing the interviews, I feel the happiest. Yeah. I forget that I'm recording. I just remember when I look here on the side. So for me, I'm sure when you're singing, you forget about everything, what's happening
Yeah,
around you. You're just there. So for me, it's the same feeling as well. And for me, this is what means the meaning of happiness, when you are doing something that brings you the best, when you can connect and express yourself the way you are. So yeah, for me, it's all about being yourself, your truly self, because I'm conscious that there are so many people that for one reason or another, they cannot be their true self. So I feel very lucky and fortunate that I can, be my true self, and people, they're
yeah.
gonna, and people, they're gonna connect with me, just the fact that I am myself. So Very, very good question. I love it. So that's my answer for you.
Amazing.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, brilliant. You're fantastic, by the way.
Oh my God, thank you. Thanks so much. My goodness. And I can tell you something now. I just wish you all the best. I think when you talk about, your music, you just want to do your passion, and it's visible as well. And I'm gonna say again, you are very lucky to have your parents and family and friends, girlfriend supporting you, because this is something that's it means a lot, and you can be your true self because they're gonna be there for you. So good
Yeah.
luck, enjoy your journey, keep
Thank
posting
you.
and I hope one day you connect with James Arthur. I just hope this interview gets to him somehow. You never know. And
That would be amazing.
I'll be there clapping, and I'll be there like I'm literally having goosebumps now. And for sure, I'm gonna be there clapping for you for sure. So thanks so much for taking the time for the interview. Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think I'm going to agree with what you just said in your answer. I think just be yourself. Don't try and change for people. Don't try and put on a persona, because you'll end up being tired and burnt out and resentful. Just be yourself. And if people cut you off, it's a hard lesson to learn, but those people weren't there meant for you anyway. There's plenty of people in the world. You will find the people that you truly connect with and that you truly need in your life through being absolutely who you are, because there are people that will accept you for that.
Totally. The right people will come and the wrong people would go. So that's
exactly.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. You keep in touch, and it was a pleasure. Okay, Cam. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, mate.
Take
Cheers.
care. Bye.
See ya.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.